Taking care of our security while online is paramount in today's digital age. With cyber threats lurking around every corner, protecting our personal information and sensitive data has never been more important. Fortunately, there are various tools and techniques available for improving our online security, one of which is the two-factor authentication 2FA. As the name suggests, two-factor authentication adds a second, additional layer of security when we attempt to log into our account on a platform. In addition to entering the name and password, this technique requires a second form of identification before access to our user accounts is granted. Two-factor authentication can take many forms. One of them is a login verification via SMS or email. After entering our username and password on a platform, the system sends a one-time code to our mobile phone via SMS or to our email address. We then enter this code on the platform in order to complete the login process. Another way is through mobile authentication apps. These apps generate one-time codes that we then use to verify our identity. After entering the name and password, the system asks us the code generated by the respective application, such as Google Authenticator or Microsoft Authenticator. Yet another method is hardware tokens, physical device, usually small keychains or cards, which generate codes that we then use to verify our identity. These tokens are probably the most secure form of two-factor authentication, as they are not vulnerable to hacking or phishing attacks, but are also the most expensive. Biometric verification, on the other hand, is a method that uses our unique biological characteristics such as fingerprints or facial and voice recognition to verify our identity. But why is activating two-factor authentication beneficial? The answer lies in the password vulnerabilities. Despite our efforts to create strong passwords, they can still be cracked in various ways, through phishing attacks or data leaks. Once a hacker or other malicious actor gets access to our password, they essentially have free rein over our user account, which can use a lot of damage. However, with two-factor authentication, even if our password is hacked, an attacker will still need access to the second factor. This creates an additional hurdle for them to overcome. This simple but effective security measure can prevent many cyber threats, such as unauthorized logins, identity theft, and financial fraud. Activating two-factor authentication is relatively simple and offered by many online services, social media and email platforms, banking institutions, and many others. Two-factor authentication is a vital tool in combating cybercrime. We ought to take these steps to protect our digital identity as best as possible in today's world of connections.